Welcome back, everyone, to more No More Future, and hopefully this time I don't accidentally breathe into the mic. I'm pretty sure I perfected this like hundreds of videos ago, but I changed the settings a little bit and it's a bit iffy. I don't know. Let's get back to the game, all right? For those who are new, subscribe, like, comment, share to friends and loved ones. Yeah, let's get. Where did we left off? You're right. They were fighting. Yes, yes, yes. They are. They are absolutely fighting. Okay. That is the only reward you'll find here. More fighting, more misery. Oh, the misery. All right, let's calm down, everyone. Not seeing it. More death. Whoa. Actually, no, that's true. If I'm now recalling her backstory or a little bit of that, like I don't know, and a little bit of her story was like expounded upon. On question is, did I put that in you on YouTube? I don't think so. Or maybe I did. I just can't remember. She whispers as the tip of her canine starts digging into her lip from the inside. Damn it! This is all your fault. You never should have met us. Met me. You could have lived a normal life if I just did something right for once. She hides her gaze from you, yet the tears streaming down her face can't be hidden just as easily. A sight so dismal it even gives you pause. All I wanted was to keep my family safe, and I couldn't even do that. I can't even keep one fucking idiot out of danger. I'm so useless. Go, Isaac, get in there. Freaking say something or stop looking all sad and shit. She cries and sobs into the couch, seemingly ashamed of herself as even her voice cracks under the pressure. You almost feel guilty forcing this on her. You never thought you'd see the day your headstrong friend would look so vulnerable in front of you. You take a deep breath as you stretch forward and lay a kind hand on the human's knee, hoping to reassure her. What happened to you two? Ooh, what did happen? That is the question right there. A strange question, perhaps, might even come across as uncouth given what you just argued about. Bars. But as Daphne peers through the hand she's using to wipe her tears and locks eyes with yours, she realizes right away that it's as genuine as your intentions, and that appears to give her pause. You can't tell her what she's thinking, only that she is. Sometimes she tries to break the silence with a word, but all you hear are incomprehensible whispers. Eventually, she realizes she can't just stammer her way through this with a deep, dry sigh. She appears to finally quietly surrender to you. She gives you a stoic look as she prepares to speak, not the most confident one she's ever given you, but it's a valid attempt. And so you ready yourself to hear whatever it is she wants to get off her chest. Alright, the truth then. My parents were rich. I was fairly young when I realized this. Oh my god, and an actual backstory. I was just asking about myself regarding this. We had the perfect house, the perfect neighborhood, no matter where we moved. We traveled to the most beautiful places with the prettiest of cars. We always had the newest games, the newest clothes, the newest phones. Everything we asked, we received tenfold. Almost like our parents only wished to see us smile. Aw. The outside world was a terrible place. Everywhere we went, people leered and whispered behind our backs. Children would bully us. Adults would mock us. Rumors would spread like wildfire of things we never did and curses we never cast. Well, that's mean, but then that's the world, right? People are broken. I think that's what it is. You see someone being mean or rude, someone who, I don't know, maybe your age or maybe younger. Well, they've went through some shit. You gotta understand them for the first encounter or something like that. There are limits to this, but you know it's like one of those things where life's just rough. I get it. You gotta vent out something sometimes. You know, We were chased out of schools, playgrounds, whole cities sometimes. I guess there are things even money can't buy, like manners. Whoa! But we made it work somehow, all together. I never saw my parents work. Not for money, I mean. They were almost always home watching over us even as we slept. And whenever we needed something, it would appear. Wow, that's freaking amazing. Almost out of thin air. Their father, their father Santa Claus? I always wondered where they got their money from. But I never did ask them. I didn't dare. Maybe I was afraid it would disappear if I did. That the music would stop. That the spell would break. They do say the more you say, the lesser things. The more you say about things, especially your plans, the things get haywire. Let's go with that. The only thing keeping our lives together, keeping us together, would vanish. Just like that. When it comes to relationships, parents, friends, lovers, or whatever, significant others, the more you know you truly care when you try to make sure you at least have still some kind of connection. You don't want things to just fall apart or break or completely cut off. You know. If only I knew what happened. One day, a man showed up to our doorstep. Our parents told us to go play in our bedroom while they let him in. That's strange, I thought. No one ever comes to visit us. You think it's a relative? That'd be a first. And the first I hear of one. Then maybe it's a teacher. Or maybe the tax man. Whoever it was, they were loud. And soon enough, so were our parents. I don't know how long we stayed in our room as the conversation grew more and more heated. As anticipation and terror in equal measure built up in our hearts. I need to take a break. Where are you going? Mom and Dad said, don't worry. I won't be long. Just want to make sure everything's fine. I left the room and sneaked down the stairs. The yelling grew louder and louder as I got closer to the kitchen. I peeked inside and saw the man once again. Only this time he saw me as well. He looked at my parents and said something I couldn't hear with a smirk on his face. He was writhing on the ground not a second later as Dad kept kicking and Mom ushered me upstairs. He left a few minutes later, trying to hide his limp as he crawled his way home. Whatever they talked about, Dad got heated. That night, I got a real stern talking to from my parents. No video games for a week, they said. Yeah, I'll take it. No, it's a punishment, yeah, but it's not the end of the world. I honestly thought that was it. Oh. Touché. The days went by and more men showed up. They rang the doorbell, even though we wouldn't answer. They called our phones, though our parents told us to ignore them. Even as the calls became so numerous, it was impossible. Yeah, teleprompters. No, wait, no. Telecom. You know, people who give you ad reads on the telephone. No. Sometimes I tried to call the police station myself, but I never did get picked up either. So we're just blacklisted, I guess. At night, I would see them skulking down the road from my bedroom, peering straight to our windows until I shut the blinders. Mom and Dad claimed it was safe, but I thought otherwise. That's true. It's kind of, that's iffy. Like, I don't know these people. They're literally outside doors. They're freaking bothering us and shit. I'd stay up all night while Apollo slept, listening to the sounds of the night in trepidation until daybreak. Just in case. One morning, Dad left without telling us. For work, Mom said. I knew that wasn't right, but I didn't want to upset her. So when Dad didn't come home, I let my tears flow quietly in the bathroom. One evening, me and Apollo sneaked outside to grab the groceries. Even the delivery man stopped coming to our home. It's not like we had a choice. We thought we were sneaky and quick. We didn't want to worry Mom after what happened. I guess the feeling was mutual. The house was ablaze. I watched, paralyzed, as my whole life crashed and burned before my eyes. I held Apollo close as he begged to be let in. She's still inside, he screamed. He kept riding in my arms even as I tightened my grip on him. Of course she was. Even I could tell. A few times I almost thought I saw her shadow walking past the blinders. But not a scream pierced that night besides Apollo's. You already died once, so maybe you'll understand. More than just my mother perished on that day. Damn, the plot is more intertwined than I foresaw. On the ground, half hidden outside the house, we found our bags filled to the brim with everything we treasured. Mom wrote her final words in a message on our phones, half on mine, half on his. She said they loved us, her and dad, that they wished to spend their whole lives doing that and honestly thought they could. But the money wasn't theirs. It never was. Oh. Hey yo. She chuckles to herself morbid. Go figure. So, where did it come from? She didn't say. My guess is not even she knew. They clearly got it somewhere though. They had no intention of giving it back to its rightful owners. Her nails dig into her sofa's armrest as tremors course throughout her body. In her will, she wrote down a list of secure bank accounts and their passwords, told us to memorize them and delete them off our phones as soon as we did. Said they were our lifeline in case everything went south. Souther anyway. You really memorized all that? He inquired, not wanting her to wallow in the events from that night. I hit the table, not the mic this time. Sorry, everyone. How many bank accounts are we talking about? Dozens? Hundreds. She clarifies as a look of pure shock spreads all over her visor. There's enough cash saved up, just in my head, to clear half the debt of this country. That's a lot of money. Wait a minute. Who did they steal from? My goodness. You shout, thankfully just shy enough to rouse Apollo from his sleep. Yup, that's the kind of fire mom and dad were playing with. Just think what someone could do with this kind of cash. When they're not busy fending for their lives, I mean. No kidding. If these men are dangerous now, imagine how much more they could be with resources this vast. It's a scary enough thought to send shivers down your spine. So, yeah. We took our things and we ran. I ran so far away. Never. No, wait, never. Dun, 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 dun. Down, down, down. I was there in the boulevard, looking over you. Don't anybody 80s kids out there? 90s? What am I talking about? I was born in the 2000s. We early wait. Yeah. We ran as fast and as far as the wind would take us. We moved cities, states, whole continents. It always seemed to work at first. But then give or take a few months, they'd be there scouting for us, trying to catch us by any means necessary. We'd go to the police and they'd laugh in our faces. We'd seek shelter anywhere we could and they'd force us out before we could even settle in. Her expression sinks to the floor as more bad memories rush to the forefront of her mind, the kind of treatment you likely can't even fathom. I honestly thought this town would be it. Middle of nowhere, old-timey folk, barely featured on a map. I even believed if we just didn't touch our bank accounts, those men would never find us. I'd get a normal job, build a normal life for us. She places a gentle hand on her brother's back, seeking the kind of comfort only his heartbeat can provide. Try and do right by him for a change. She pulls her hand back, just as it balls up into a shaky fist. But of course, I can't step 2 feet out of this hellhole without someone taking notice, and soon enough, we were back to the same song and dance. Only this time, we got a new dancer. Oh, yeah. He can dance alright. Got a fucking bomb in his tail. He's armed to the teeth. The finest of Pandora. Billions of dollars of technology, baby. This man could go in the UFC and dominate it because it's literally made out of metal. More than metal, actually. You're surprised as Daphne spreads her arms out and shifts her gaze to you. Part invitation, part mockery. Part apology. So yeah, hope you're happy knowing this. Welcome to our world. Enjoy your stay. Silence. Both of them have some problems. Not as people or individuals or characters. They also have that, but external problems. Silence, the most uncomfortable one in a while. You lay still in your chair for what feels like an eternity, too weary, too astonished to say anything. It feels as though you're both standing still and running a million miles an hour at the same time. Good lord, that's horrifying. It's all you manage to say as your eyes once again manage to meet with hers, despite the shaking in your body and trying your hardest to suppress. I'm so sorry, I can't even begin to imagine what you and Apollo must have been through. Yeah, well, imagine all the people. Imagine never know. She mutters as she relaxes her posture, and only her posture. Tough shit, Sherlock. It's too late to be sorry now. You asked for the truth? You should have known what you signed up for when you started shouting at me earlier. Can you... You can handle the truth! Good film by Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. Yeah. Unless you're trying to say you're taking pity on me or something. What are you talking about? I didn't... shut up already. I didn't need you to answer. She states bluntly as she slumps her upper body forward and shakes her head in disapproval. I'm just being an asshole again, for no reason. Those are definitely not the words expected to come out of her mouth next, you must say. You're so surprised to hear them, you're practically speechless. Seeing your surprise plain as day in your visor, the woman sighs before continuing. This is the first time I told someone all that. I never even got the chance to tell the whole thing to a cop. You tell someone about the cash and their eyes get all wide right away. Then you mention the mob and suddenly they want to be a billion miles away from you. Again she sighs. Again she sighs before pulling herself back into the couch, seemingly trying and failing to find a comfortable seating position or the right words to say. I never thought I'd be able to share this stuff with someone, or that they'd actually sit there and listen to all of it. Or even that they'd feel sorry for me at the end. She says as she regards you with a look you never expected her to show you. You've seen that gaze before, directed at Apollo. That worry, that sadness, that feeling of impotence, of weakness, of vulnerability. Only this time it's as if she's aiming it at herself, at a pallid woman that stares back at her on your visor, as if to finally admit, even to herself, that her brother isn't the only victim in this sick game of life, and that maybe she could use some help as well. Yeah, well, I also needed to get a good idea of the situation. Damn, I knew it. I was like, Mary's absolutely listening. She's not being for like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of this fucking yap fest. Don't worry, she is his creator or mother. Surrogate, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird relationship. The feline watches intently from the kitchen, perched on the counter like an owl, an impenetrable smile on her otherwise friendly visage. Mary, why are you... How long have you been... Since the beginning? Well, sort of. Heard some noise from the living room a while back, caught you having an argument about very interesting stuff. Could have joined you over there, I suppose, but you were starting to get really into it and I didn't want to mess up your flow by speaking up. Don't mess with my flow. Don't mess with my... I'm sorry. Playfully, she throws a smirk your way at the end of her sentence, and all the while, the scowl on Daphne's face only threatens to get bigger. Come on, Mary. Could you please tone down the sass for once? She's just met you. She doesn't know you're playing around. You call this playing around? Yikes. Ooh, poor choice of words by my boy Isaac. You highlight your friend's reaction to Mary using your hands as if to plead with her that this is not the right time to fool around like that. Thankfully, the scientist appears quick on the uptake. Fair enough. I guess I did skimp over my introductions as per my usual. Here, let me just... Without further delay, she leaves her comfy spot on the counter and walks around it, only stopping once she's practically towering over the human, which is quite impressive given her stature. She extends a cordial hand her way, which appears to double as a way to help her rise from her seat faster should she choose. Good evening there, my name's Mary, but I already told you that. I'm a Dr. at Pandora, the one in charge of the synthetic project, including the little tough guy over here. She says as she lightly pokes her shoulder a couple of times with the back of her finger. Somehow, it's less the gesture and more the soft metallic sound it produces that feels a little embarrassing to you. Though the woman appears to pay no mind as she quickly pulls back to look at Daphne again. Finally, introductions. It's nice to finally meet you and not just hear about you. The reports of all the little scuffles you've gotten into painted quite the picture. Indeed. Her tone hasn't changed much from a few moments earlier. She is a scientist. For her, this is an interesting phenomena that's happening. Well, for her, that's the context. But for us, it's called an event. An interesting event. From a few moments earlier, despite your warning, and it's clear you're not the only one who noticed. With a gentle push, Daphne removes Apollo's head from her thigh and stands up without taking Mary's hand. She takes a few steps away from the feline before she finally responds. Nice to meet you too, I guess. I'm Daphne, he's Apollo. Can we get serious now? She asked without missing a beat, her prior hesitation replaced by a look you know all too well. You heard all that just now, and you clearly know I haven't exactly played nice with the folks who've come after us. You're not gonna rat us out to the police or something, are you? What? Of course not. She'd never... Apollo... oh wait, no, sorry. Isaac, you fucking ding-dong. What was I gonna say? What am I gonna say? Isaac, you're backed up by Pandora. It's like Stark Industries, medicine, military, weapons, and I guess like I don't know what they're called. This synthetic project, a synthetic bioengineering. Wait, no, that's more like no, I don't know what to call this. I'm not that versed in scientific fields. Okay. Come on, just met me and you already think that low of me? What kind of monster could listen to a story like that and not want to help? The feline replies with her usual flair, though it's not long before her confidence falters to the human's glare. Okay, wrong question. Got it. I can see that our opinions on people are more aligned than I thought. Including, I suspect, our opinions on the effectiveness and overall reliability of peacekeeping officers in general, I suppose. She asks, a little more uncertain as she tries to gauge Daphne's reaction. Seeing the latter yeah, she's a scientist through and through. She throws these different questions. It's like those people that are really good at socializing, at first they try to throw in like common stuff. Small talk, but these small talks vary from topic to topic, seeing what makes this person tick. Yes, no, good joke, bad joke. Ooh, what's the gauge here, right? She asks, a little more uncertain. She tries to she decides to rephrase of her own accord. Look, I'm not going to rat you out to the police, okay? Rats, they get taken care of, gabagool, or the feds, or whomever. Part of my duty to Isaac here is making sure he gets to live a normal life away from all that nonsense. Which means we're all in the same boat here, at least until this little family matter is resolved. Right, isn't that just a fancy way of saying forever? Quite the contrary, I'd like to fix this matter now while we still can. The feline's answer is unexpectedly serious as well as quite sudden. Perhaps the shock it instilled you was calculated, but even she couldn't have predicted Daphne's outraged reaction. Fix it? Have you lost your marbles? There's no fixing this. You think I can just waltz up to those people, say I'm sorry and be forgiven? Giving up the cash would mean giving up the only insurance we have that they won't kill us. Oh, come on. Come on, the gabagool. She cuts her off, perhaps a tad dismissively. I'm not telling you to give them back the money. I'm not stupid. I don't know who these people are, but you don't need a degree to realize honor and fairness aren't in their dictionary. I'd say they're more men of commitment. That's true, they are really committed. Shall we say, you did mention those people were willing to chase you all across the world, didn't you? Why don't we put that theory to the test? She whispers as her eyes widen again in stupor. Put that to the test? How? Oh, by placing them somewhere they're not likely to be found, of course. You do remember, they have a lot of black sites. Pandora is sketchy, man. It's not long before you realize exactly what she's talking about. And when you do, you almost feel ashamed for not thinking of it sooner. You mean one of the synthetic facilities? Hey, what did you expect? At the end of the day, I'm a scientist, not a security provider. It's no five-star hotel, that's for sure, but it'll work for now. You and your brother will be safe there, and you'll be cared for the best of our ability. And of course, I won't ask for a dime of your parents' money in return. It's not like I'm desperate for funding or anything. I'm sure we can find a way to fit these extra expenses in our budget. Pretty swell offer, don't you agree? The woman asks as she turns to Daphne, her lips curved in a brazen smirk, but the more playful and confident Mary tries to appear. The harsher the human's gaze begins to turn. Right, and conveniently, it gets us the hell away from your precious android. I guess that's one way of getting rid of the problem. Daphne replies, venomous and insidious like you've never seen her. Hey now, she didn't mean it like, oh, don't give me that. You want to know what I hear when she say, I'm having a stroke. I'm kidding. You want to know what I hear when she says secure facility? A prison, a cage, and maybe if it's buried deep enough underground, a grave. Then maybe you should get your ears checked or something. Mary intervenes, offended beyond words with the way your friend is treating her. I'm sorry? No, you're not. I'm here offering you the best help I can give, and you're too busy acting like a spoiled child to listen. Also, you want to help us? Us? You didn't even know us until 2 minutes ago or what we went through, yet suddenly you're here acting like you want to fix our lives free of charge. Be honest already. You don't care what happens to us as long as you and him get to be rid of us for good. The human's tirade leaves you speechless as it does the scientist. Unfortunately, that is only true for so long. I swear, how and why he managed to befriend you is beyond me. What was that? I didn't catch that. Want to try saying it again? Okay, that's enough. Women, am I right? Yeah! I'm sorry, man. You tried to intervene, almost having to physically step in between your friends to avoid the worst. I don't know what's gotten into you both, but this is a lot. I can't handle this right now. And neither can he. Mm-mm-mm. He is sleeping. You gotta calm down, everyone. Someone's asleep here. Sleepy? Might be me. Oh my god. While the sight appears to soothe the ladies for a moment, the animosity in the room appears wholly unaffected, and indeed, it's not long before the words confirm as such to you. Good point. We should move this to the back, so this moron doesn't wake the kid with her yapping again. That's my line, you old hag. You think this is over? I'm just getting started. It's true. Your gal and your mother will always be fighting, alright? It's kind of funny. It's the same scenario when, let's say, you're now you're the girl, all right, in this perspective. You're the lady. Your father would absolutely be butting heads in the beginning with your boyfriend. It is what it is. Think about it, right? It's the same. When I think about it, it's kind of like, it's kind of different, but fundamentally, it's almost similar. I said almost, it's similar. Let's go with that. Almost similar. It's like a double freaking, it's a repetition of the same, almost the same word, same meaning. So no. No, yikes. Women. The two's eyes shoot daggers at you before you even hear them speak. Surprisingly coordinated for once. They go back to facing each other the very next moment, ready to pounce on one another like predators in the wild. Quietly and with measured steps, they begin to head further into the apartment, seemingly indifferent as to whether you join them or not. Perhaps they expect you to stay in the living room and look after the younger sheep. Who could say? But right now, you feel too tired to even do that. You turn to face the boy one last time, a mixture of sadness and regret in your eyes, now more than ever aware of the burden he carries deep inside. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Sleep well. Who did Isaac? Paul was like, what? What the fuck? What's happening over here? Now he knows. You exit the siblings' apartment with heavy steps and an even heavier heart. Sad. The door slowly closes behind you, allowing you some semblance of privacy in the hallway, while Daphne and Mary duke it out inside. Part of you feels a little guilty leaving them alone to argue like that, but you really need the moment to yourself right now, away from all that chaos. You reach out with your hand towards the nearest wall. using it to support your weight, then allow yourself to heave your longest sigh in a while. You already had a feeling something wasn't right with your with your friends' parents, especially after what Apollo told you earlier today. But you honestly hadn't anticipated the situation to be this dire. You know what's insane? This is already like a short freaking book. I've noticed. We're only in what? This has only been happening for like not even a year, like a month or something. I can't remember the timeline here, but it's not. It's like so much shit is happening. This is insane. Losing their parents at such a young age and in such a brutal and unforgiving way, through no fault of their own and with no chance to make things right. It's hard to imagine something so awful could be true. Just thinking about it makes me sick. You mumble to yourself out loud in an effort to calm down your nerves, to try and rationalize the blood-curdling tale that unraveled before your eyes and ears. I thought I went through a lot when my dad died. I thought it was painful to watch him die in that bed, day by day, little by little. Same Isaac. That's what happened to my grandfather, and that's what happened to my uncle. Different sickness, but both of them got bedridden, and I saw them die slowly. Real slow. Yeah, enough of that, bit too brutal for me. But I guess I was just scratching the surface. Perhaps you even got lucky in that regard, in the most twisted understanding of the term. Though your father's demise was pitiless, it was gradual and that afforded you a certain modicum of time. Time to see him just a little bit longer. Time to speak with him and set the record straight. Time to reassure each other that everything would be alright. Time that your friends, it seems, inexorably lack. It's disgusting. It's unforgivable. Who would take a father from their own children? Oh, lots of people, Isaac. This world isn't as rainbows and sunshine as you think, you know? Cause their mother to out F4 herself before their very eyes. Hunt two kids to the ends of the earth and back like they're wild game or something. Who the hell are they? Who the hell do they think they are? The more anger you feel toward what happened and toward the people who caused it, the more another emotion begins to bubble up within you. An emotion you hadn't thought would manifest at a time like this, yet quickly comes to dominate your thoughts. A distinct feeling of fear. Fear. This is way worse than I thought. You hide that comment in the back of your head as if ashamed of the doubt that has overtaken you. It's not just your understanding of the siblings' predicament that was flipped on its head just now. The same can be said of your predicament as well. This is nothing like what you'd assumed. This isn't a weird succession of robbers you can put a stop to, nor a petty band of crooks you can somehow scare into submission. This is a full-blown criminal syndicate armed with a seemingly endless supply of hired guns and hitmen, a far-reaching organization spanning the whole globe, and even a state-of-the-art synthetic on their payroll. So, it's like Pandora, but the other side of the world, you know. You didn't win a battle today, you entered a war far grander scale than anything you've ever faced. And you're just one person, one synthetic, with enough burdens and responsibilities as it is. How are you supposed to handle all this? And for that matter, how are they? The answers once again elude you forevermore. A dreadful, mesmerizing silence follows, draining your thoughts of all momentum, draining all light from within your heart, leaving you an empty shell clinging to the wall for guidance, like a haunted armor in a faraway castle. You seem angry. Hollow words ring out from behind you as if spoken from within a chasm, echoing through the kind of depth this hallway sorely lacks. Frightened, you feel your body stiffen up as if frozen in ice, your breath immobile within your nostrils. You swallow a large, empty load within your throat. Oh yeah? And for a moment, you're surprised that the sound does not echo through these halls like that voice did. After the brief moments of shock, you hastily turn to face the source of the noise. I knew it. I was like, there's only one cool entity here that makes people shiver. Only to be greeted by familiar emptiness, staring at you with blood-red eyes, gleaming in a way that seems to siphon the natural lighting of this place like a vortex. The immortal function, a black hole, gravity, scale magic. I'm sorry. Strangely enough, facing this entity is nowhere near as frightening as hearing it speak, likely due to your growing awareness of it, or rather your sneaking suspicion that your paths would soon cross again. Usually, I'd say it's normal to feel that way, but considering everything I've learned thus far, well, I've come to understand it's a little unordinary for people around here to feel so strongly about things. It continues from where it left off, speaking in a strong yet monotone voice, once you have no trouble understanding, if nothing else. Though, of course, understanding what's going on through its head is still as hard as ever. You think I'm angry? Well, I guess that's at least partly true, right? Right now I'm feeling a lot of things, to be honest. You explain yourself truthfully and concisely. You know, it's kind of cool. If you had a cool shadow friend, not something like one of those horror movies where it's like, oh no, it's actually the demon befriending you and has other plans. You know, just an actual shadow figure friend. That would be cool, right? It's like your own. It's like you're the one who knows this. You can't say it, but it's your own little cool thing. There's a peculiar feeling prodding at the back of her mind right now. A desire for self-preservation, going unheeded, an exigency to run while you still can. But now that you're here again, in this exact situation, you feel something else taking hold of you, far stronger than the dread ever could. Curiosity. Like a cat. What are you exactly? You ask, blunt as a hammer. What am I? It's a good question. The entity repeats as if perplexed by your question. I mean, at first I thought you were a ghost or a phantom, or maybe a hallucination. But seeing how you threw my friend across the train last time we met, you're clearly too corporeal to be a ghost or a glitch. And similarly, you being able to talk means you're not an ability, I think. So I guess the only thing you could be is a human being? You asked once again, hoping the answer could truly be so simple. A human being. The shade ponders on your answer, seemingly unsure if only for a little while. Ah, I see. You're referring to the people of this world, are you not? Interesting. Its head briefly shifts to the side, its gaze now overlooking the door from whence you came. Besides that one, of course, I guess, I mean, you're not wrong or anything, but was that question even necessary? I mean, we're talking humans here, you can't be that clueless. Can you? Well, I think this shade entity comes from a different world, a different level of existence. It's quite difficult to imagine someone being unaware of such a crucial term, especially in today's day and age, and yet... The entity pauses once more, this time turning to meet your gaze. I understand if this is confusing to you, or suspicious. But if that is how you feel now, then I must warn you that it's only going to get worse. I have been told that I can be a handful sometimes. For many, an individual. It is a known limitation of mine. I can only apologize in advance. Well, at least it's honest. Yeah? That's quite rare in this world. Perhaps you're thinking this conversation was going to be anything resembling straightforward. Was a little hopeful on your end after all. Having said that, I think I understand what you're asking of me. We're asking what I am, then the answer is that I'm not. To be is not to be. I am and I am not. I am because I am. Since I have thought, I am. I think that's a thingy, right? Or am I just blowing insane words here in smoke? I am a whisper in the wind. A shadow beyond a corner, never seen, never heard. I am nothing, and I hope to stay that way until quite recently. Well, that's poetic. Yeah, I was gonna say as well, this guy's quite a poet. And mysterious and ominous and likely more befitting an old gothic novel than an actual face-to-face convo if you had to guess. But you don't have time to worry about that as the shade quickly resumes its spiel. If you're asking whether I can be reasoned with, then the answer is yes. You may consider me a person as you yourself may be. Or you may consider me a mockery of a person. Like you also may be. Oh! And just like that, your optimistic, if slightly cautious mood is suppressed in a trice, replaced by now all too common displeasure. Give me a break. Don't tell me you also think I'm just a flashy AI. You shout at the entity, though once again you're only greeted with perplexion. I never said anything about that, homie. We're both something, right? But you thought it, didn't you? Don't lie to me. You're beginning to feel rather vexed by the amount of time your interlocutor needs to answer your queries, but with no means at your disposal to speed this up. All you can do is grit your teeth and wait for a reply. That thought seems to bother you a great deal, as I gathered. My apologies. I didn't mean to offend you. I was merely describing your predicament as I understood it. Oh, well, thank you. It's my predicament, as I said, we'll only keep it to 40 minutes in for now so I don't burn out like a bright star in the vast oceans of the universe. Yeah. See you, everyone. Subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends and loved ones. I'll be seeing you next episode or a different video. Who knows? Good luck, whatever you're doing. No, I do mean it. Yeah. See ya.